Good morning. Welcome to Unity Longmont Spiritual Center on the 6th of February, 2022. We are blessed to have Jenny Hooks with us today to speak with us and to lead us in meditation, and Clint Brown and Connie Schaefer to provide music. So we'll start with Clint and Connie.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your heart. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your heart. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Thank you, Clint and Connie, for that hope. It's at this time that we go into prayer together by taking a breath. Beloved presence, everywhere present, we join together today to celebrate our lives, to open our hearts and minds to hope, to allow ourselves to be and feel sheltered in divine love. We say thank you. And so it is. And we'll have another song from Connie and Clint.
Okay, you're unmuted.
February is Valentine's Day, so there's a theme of love and flowers and candy. It's also Black History Month, and every time Black History Month happens, I learn more about Black history, which is kind of the idea. So this first one is Perhaps Love by John Denver. Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It is there to keep you comfort, it's there to give you warmth. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window,
Perhaps an open door.
It invites you to come closer,
It wants to show you more.
And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through. Oh, love to some is like a cloud, to some as strong as steel, for some a way of living, for some a way to feel. Some say love is holding on, and some say letting go. Some say love is everything, and some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean,
full of conflict, full of change,
like a fire when it's cold outside.
thunder when it rains.
If I should live forever and all my dreams come true, my memory of love will see you through.
How delightful. Thank you. So at this time, let us open our minds, our hearts for Jenny Hooks. Thank you for being here, Jenny.
Good morning to each of you. Jai Guru Dev. I recognize and greet the divine within each of you. I want to start this morning with a prayer followed by the meditation. So this is the Gayatri mantra. When it's chanted, it is always chanted 3 times. So I'm going to chant it for you, and then I am going to tell you the English translation. Om Bhurbavat Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nat Prachodayat. Om Bhurbavat Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nat Prachodayat. Om Bhurbavat Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nat Prachodayat. O Divine Mother, we meditate on thee as the supreme light that illuminates the earth, the sky, and the heavens, the adorable Sun of divine consciousness that illuminates the devas and dissipates all darkness and ignorance. Through thy grace, may you enlighten our intellect and awaken that same brilliant divine light in each of us. So the Gayatri mantra is the Veda mantra. It's the mother of the Vedas, the one that gives knowledge, intelligence, wisdom, and the one that clears the mind. So I just think it's such a beautiful prayer. And so I'm going to go into the meditation, but just be thinking of Divine Mother and that beautiful light that dispels all darkness and brings us and increases our awareness. So take a couple deep breaths, sit back and relax. Close your eyes if you feel inclined to do so. And take a moment to connect with your heart. See your true self, your divine self as a ball of light in the center of your chest. See the light growing and expanding. See the light shine brightly with each inhalation and each exhalation. Allow this beautiful light to shine into your eyes. So when we conclude the meditation and your eyes are open, You are seeing with the eyes of God. See the light shine through your nose and feel the breath of God with each inhalation and each exhalation. See the light shine through your ears. Let it clear away all debris in the mind and in the ears so that you can hear the voice of God. See that light radiating in all of your extremities, in your arms and hands, and know that your touch is the touch of God. Whenever you are aware of your divine presence, your life is a prayer and you radiate God's love to everyone and everything around you. So see this light in your arms and your hands, and raise your hands to the level of your heart and see yourself holding the entire planet in your palms. And allow the light to radiate from your heart to your fingertips across the earth. Allow this light to illuminate the oceans, the rivers, the lakes and streams, every pond and every puddle. See this light caressing the mountains, the deserts, the prairies, the North Pole and the South Pole, and everything in between. See the animals and all of God's creatures being touched by this divine light. All the plants and the trees and the farms radiating with light. See this light touching every country, every island, every part of Mother Earth. And take a moment to send this love and light to those nearest and dearest to you. Send them this love. And send this love and light to all those who are sick and suffering with cancer or COVID or heart disease, mental illness. Send them love and light. And send this love and light to all public workers, politicians, police, protesters, all who are working for the good of humanity. And now take a moment to think of someone with whom you have a conflict or someone you don't like, and send them love. See them coated in divine light. Release the planet back into the atmosphere. Place your right hand over your heart and your left hand on top of your right. You are the temple of God. You are the light of the world. Let your light shine. Whatever you do, wherever you go, and know that the divine is always, in every moment, present with you. O Divine Mother, we meditate on thee as the supreme light that illuminates the earth, the sky, and the heavens, the adorable sun of divine consciousness that illuminates the devas and dissipates all darkness and ignorance. Through your grace, may you enlighten our intellect and awaken that same brilliant divine light within us. And so it is. I hope you feel lighter and brighter after that meditation. So, on the spiritual path, it's not easy. And I can get lost in the outside world instead of going inside. And like all of you, make myself crazy about some nonsense that happens in the world. And then I think, oh, well, maybe if you focused on the divine within, you could let go of all that nonsense. And, I used to get angry when things came up. Like, I went to therapy, I dealt with that years ago. Why is that old issue coming up again? And then I'd be real stinky about it. And yet, every challenge that we confront is God giving us the opportunity to surrender, to let go, and to heal those old wounds and those old scars. And I've talked to you about karma before, and that there's 3 types of karma, and I can't say easily the terms in Sanskrit, so I'll just tell you my version of them. But it's as if we have this bank account with bundles in it, and we have this big account with all of the karma from many, many past lives. And then we have this bundle that we chose to bring into this world to burn. And then while we're burning that karma, sometimes we create karma. And so then we have a new bundle. And hopefully we burn way more than we take back and add to that account. And so what creates karma? So we have to confront these old situations, but it's our reaction to whatever drama comes up in our life that creates new karma. So I punch Deva. In the world of karma, Deva punches me back. But it doesn't work out that way. It may be Deva punches me and I punch Skip. And I might not punch Skip until my next lifetime. So it's very complicated and very, don't spend too much time trying to understand it, because you'll never get there to understand karma. But the way to not create new karma is to, somebody hits my truck. I get angry and I do all these things and blah, blah, blah. But what if I didn't react? Or what if I reacted with compassion? That does not create more karma. And we're all here not to create karma, but to burn karma. And I have a very good friend who lives in Washington, and she has had a rough year. And without going into the details of all that she's been through, she struggled. And she called me this week and she said, my birthday is on Saturday. And with all of this stuff that's going on, I go through a lot of the motions of my spiritual practice, but I don't feel a deep connection. And that day she did her meditation and Divine Mother came to her and said, I miss you. I want you back. And so she chose to have a yagna in her backyard, which is a fire ceremony. And you chant, and at the end of each line of the chant, you say swaha, and you're holding a piece of rice between your fingers over your heart. Swaha, I surrender it to you, Divine Mother. And I thought, how beautiful. How beautiful to be called by Divine Mother to come home. And how beautiful to be reminded that she is always ever present with you. But we get so distracted by the noise of the outside world. And for me, I get uncomfortable when those things trigger me. I don't want to go inside and look at them again. Now, clearly, they're not resolved, or it wouldn't be rearing its ugly head. And what I've discovered as I allow myself to be present with those triggers is that I'm much calmer. And I think to myself, well, you made a mountain out of a molehill for days. You avoided this and made yourself miserable. And now that you're sitting with it, just greater awareness of the situation, the relationship, the pattern that I've been repeating that didn't work then, and it's still not working now. So maybe it's time to do something different. And the spiritual journey is so beautiful. And just like there's no two snowflakes exactly alike, each of us has a unique relationship with the divine that's different from every other relationship with the divine. This week, when something triggered me, and I realized a pattern I have of not always being clear, like I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm going to avoid you instead of saying, this isn't working for me. And I look at a picture of Guruji and I said, you're smirking at me. And we joke and we laugh in our relationship of, and I say, do you have to stir the pot today? Like, I have a lot to get done at work and around the house, and here you are stirring things up again. And really, in that space, when I can laugh at myself and have this conversation with the divine, it doesn't take very long to work it out and recognize what it is mine to do, to call this person and have a simple conversation and just say, this is hard. I don't like conflict. I'd rather avoid it. But out of love and respect for you and our relationship, I want to talk to you about this. And It goes way smoother than my crazy mind ever imagines. I don't know if that's always the case, but is often the case. I recently picked up this book. I've had it for a while. It's the Sri Guru Gita. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's part of the Skanda Puranas, and it was written by a sage by the name of Vedavyas. And the Sri Guru Gita is a discussion between Lord Shankar, or Shiva, and Parvati. And Goddess Parvati the book starts with Goddess Parvati asking Shiva, who do you consider the greatest one on earth? And Lord Shiva explains to Mahadevi that the greatest form on earth is the form of the master or the guru. So 2,000 years ago, Jesus was the greatest form on earth. And in any different time, Buddha may have been the greatest on the earth. And Shiva is known as the greatest devotee of God the Father, the divine, the one in whom everyone dwells, Narayana. And Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the embodiment of the Guru. It is through my grace that the Guru appears on earth. And it is through my grace that the disciples are guided to where they belong. Christ also said, I have come for my sheep. I have come for my flock. So wherever one is, the Guru will search and will attract the disciple. And as I read that, I was thinking, Divine Mother may not be in form on the planet at this moment, but she came for my friend. So this book is the most wonderful songs, because all that we are doing here is to please Divine Mother. And everything is happening through divine grace on the planet. So if you remember that when somebody cuts you off in traffic or shows up wearing their mask over their chin, but not their nose, and you can just have that thought for one moment, everything is happening through the grace of the Lord. So I'm going to skip ahead. So there's 400 verses to the Guru Gita, and I'm not going to read you all 400. I'm just going to read you a couple of my favorites that I read recently, and they're my favorite today because they spoke to me when I read them, because through divine grace, it was mine to read over the last few days. Just as an image of crystal shine in a mirror, similarly, that which is consciousness and bliss, the true self, shines in the buddhi, and that is, it shines in knowledge. And Lord Shiva goes on to say, now I shall speak to you of the inner state which arises when one meditates on the thumb-sized consciousness, the thumb-sized conscious being dwelling in the heart. And here Bhagavan Shankar is saying that even if your meditation is just that much, thumb size, sorry, I lost my place. If you meditate just that much on the Guru, even if you meditate just a tiny bit every day on the Guru, on the conscious being dwelling in the heart, the Guru's form inside the heart, he said, I shall reveal to you the importance of those few seconds of meditation. Here he is not saying to meditate for a long time. drop your mind into your heart and meditate on the guru inside your heart. So who is your guru? If you don't know, sit in meditation and ask for it to be revealed to you. If you have a close connection with Divine Mother, find a picture or a statue of Divine Mother and keep that image in your heart when you meditate. It can be Jesus. It can be Buddha. It can be Krishna. But find that image and meditate for just a few minutes every day. And Lord Shankar goes on to say in verse 116, O Parvati, the absolute is by nature impalpable, difficult to attain, beyond name, form, and sound. You know this. To attain something that the mind can't perceive, can't name, can't understand, can't comprehend. So how do we do that? And he says to Parvati, you know how difficult it is. You, Divine Mother, are the one who casts Maya. So you make it difficult for the people to find that, to understand that. But I shall reveal to you the deepness of your action of yours. Why has the Supreme Lord made you who you are? I shall reveal that to you. As fragrance is natural to flowers and camphor, cold and heat are natural phenomenon. The absolute is everlasting. Attaining the condition of the Supreme, you may be anywhere. So this isn't just for monks or nuns in convents, but for all of us. Just as a caterpillar is transformed into a butterfly by constantly meditating on the ladder, one should meditate on the Lord like him. So here, Lord Shankar is saying to be aware of God at all times. So the more that you meditate and you focus on this form of the divine in your heart, and you get out of your car to walk into a store, see the divine in your heart. As often as you can, see the divine in your heart. It is said if you have this image of the divine in your heart and you chant God's name at the moment of your death, you are transformed and you break the cycle of birth and death and you go to Vaikuntha for eternity. And I think, how simple is this? Like, I can complicate any situation in the world. And yet, God gives us this beautiful, just be focused on my presence. Chant the divine name. And you're done with all this nonsense in the world of duality. And the only way that I'm going to remember to chant the divine names and to have my focus on God as I take my last breath is if I practice in my daily life. And so I put pictures up of things that connect me to the divine in my home, and small pictures in my car. And I have a little tiny statue on the dashboard of my car, and it's Lord Shiva and Parvati is holding Lord Ganesha as a baby. And I think, after my car accident, I need a lot of presence of God in my car to keep me safe. And to know that all is well in any moment. And so that has been my focus of late, is remembering the divine, trying to remember the divine more and more in my daily life, but also being aware of my reactions to things I don't like, or situations I don't like, and saying, okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable, and asking for help to not create karma, and to surrender and place whatever that discomfort is at the feet of the Lord on my altar, so I can be guided how to do what's mine to do next. I create karma if I argue and I fight and I make it a bigger problem, I fan it. But I also create karma when I swallow it and I do nothing, when there is a role for me to balance some situation. So you can't get out of it. We think we can avoid, but not really. We postpone, but we don't avoid. So it's been a nice few weeks, not sweeping up and hiding from my, the little messes of the world that come up. So my offer to all of you is or challenge to all of you is to think about the divine mother, whoever your guru is. Place them in your heart and try to be aware of their presence every day. And just notice when you're uncomfortable. And that's the very first step of noticing when you're uncomfortable. Because I think sometimes I can be so naive, or my unconscious so wants to avoid a conflict that I pretend that my stomach doesn't hurt. That I don't know about that little tiny knot starting to grow. So I hope you can increase your awareness just a little bit, and take some time, if you don't know who your guru is, to find them. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Jenny. As always, we appreciate your wisdom and your learning and your practice. So we will hear from Clint and Connie.
Okay. Little rip in the karma continuum there. So this is a song. One of the things I just learned is that slaves during the period of the Underground Railroad would sing spirituals that the slave owners did not know were coded messages to do certain things. Especially this one, "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot," refers to the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman, and the network that helped slaves escape. So the "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" is the Underground Railroad swinging low down into the South. I didn't know that. Another thing I noticed is Henry Louis Gates, who's a Harvard professor. Do people know of Henry Louis Gates? Oh, on PBS, where I get a lot of my wisdom, he has a show called Finding Your Roots, and he brings celebrities on and does an incredible tracing, a whole incredible team using DNA, old birth records, in the case of African American slave records. And he said something very profound that I think is relevant in these days when there's a lot of backlash against learning African American history, like we shouldn't teach African American history because it will make our children feel guilty. Henry Louis Gates said, "Guilt is not inheritable. Guilt is not inheritable. Your ancestors may have done some horrible things, but you're not responsible for that. So let that go and get to work." Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Thank you so much, Connie and Clint. It's at this time that we go into our donation of love and light by taking a breath together, placing our hands on our heart. We become increasingly aware of the love and light that are always within us. We allow it to expand beyond us. And we simply notice that expansion and have knowledge that this love and light are shared. They're shared in this moment. They're shared through smiles, through kindness, through recognition of the other, through thoughtfulness, compassion, and love. This love and light represent and are expressions of the divinity within and around. And so it is. We'll finish with another song, please.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you